I have to look and reflect of who's in this room. So many partners, nonprofits, schools, friends of Google, and folks who have been a part of our success. Our nonprofits, our chambers of commerce, the Omaha Chamber, the Sarpy Chamber, the Nebraska Chamber, the Lincoln Partnership, so many folks that this wouldn't be possible without your work and dedication. And also our friends on the energy side, OPPD and LES, thank you so much for being here and for joining us this morning. But with that, and to continue our welcome remarks, we'd like to invite Mayor Black of Papillion. Mayor Black.
So if you get confused with jurisdictional boundaries, you're in the city of Papillion, so welcome on behalf of Papillion. Appreciate you being here. And as Dan mentioned, you just look in the crowd and there's so many partners, and this does describe in a lot of ways community. And I really want to thank Google for the role they've played. They came in 2018, I think, started building in 19, have completed a building every year since then. A lot of places could just be a big corporation that just comes in and uses us. Google really is part of the community, no different than a small business that has grown up here. Mayor Hike is here as well, and Commissioner Warren, and what you do for Sarpy County and this region is just incredible. So I just want to thank you and look forward to the announcements today.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. So my name is Allie Hopkins, and I have the great pleasure of leading the teams that keep these data centers running for both the Iowa and the Nebraska data centers for Google. And I've been here for about 10 years, mostly in this region. I started in the Council Bluffs, Iowa data center, and as Google has expanded, I have also expanded, and watching this growth. And not just watching, but actually being part of this growth for all these years has really is a highlight of my career. So I'm very thankful to be here and be part of this really exciting announcement of the continued expansion. And of course, thank you for all of our officials, the community, everything that Dan was talking about. It really is important. It's part of our selection, actually, of expansion, and it allows us to grow when we have these types of relationships, close relationships with the community, and just excited for us to be part of it. So the infrastructure for America's digital innovation is literally being built right around you, and y'all are sitting in the middle of it. And Google's continued investment in this infrastructure, including the data centers, this is what's enabling us to push on that AI innovation and build on our growing cloud business. And so it's really important, and Google is definitely committed to pushing this forward. And this data center in Papillion, we create 120 FTE jobs just with this data center. We've also generated, just in 2022, $4.34 billion in economic activity within the state of Nebraska. So we're here to stay, and we're here to expand. Today, super excited to announce that Google is continuing that expansion, continuing that commitment with a $1.2 billion investment this year in this infrastructure. And as part of this investment, also excited to announce that we'll be expanding into the hometown of, who was it? Fisher? Which hometown? Yes, of Lincoln. Our third data center, we're going to be expanding there, starting that construction. And again, that's all to support these digital services that everyone is so used to using every day, right? Gmail, cloud, Maps, YouTube, you name it. But it's also to really increase that advancement of AI that's really, really important, not just for the state of Nebraska, but across the world. We have people and businesses relying on these services now. And the state plays a critical role in that. So this also underscores Google's commitment, not just for investing in the capital, right? But there was some mention of our investment in the community, right? Some of the things that Google has done just in this community. We were one of the original supporters for Omaha Central, the new library that we have coming up, right? It's going to be, I think, 2026 is when it's going live. And that real investment in the literacy, the digital equity really with that community development. And also, my favorite is that the potential of the individual, right, giving them that access. We also have our partnership with the two nonprofits, 75 North and the Empowerment Network, to help create these connectivity opportunities with initiatives and programs, and this is for North Omaha, to really bring the community together. And again, it's all based on connectivity and not just in the digital sense when we're talking about this kind of an investment. So these are just a couple of examples of how we're really involved, and again, not just sitting in the data center and keeping the data center running, but really helping in as many ways as we can, and then looking for more ways to do that. So with that, happy to welcome Senator Deb Fischer to the stage.
You probably think since I'm a senator, it's going to be like forever that I'm going to talk when I show up with this, especially. But just some short remarks. I just really want to thank you for having me here today. This is an exciting time for Papillion, for the state of Nebraska as well, and I am just really grateful to be able to welcome the data center expansion that's happening here in Nebraska. This expansion is going to have a huge impact on Papillion, on Lincoln, and on the entire state. And I'm really proud that Google chose Nebraska to be able to do this expansion for us. As we all know, these data centers are extremely critical to the internet and cloud services that power our economy. And our state offers the critical resources that are necessary to support that innovation. There's a reason that Nebraska is a big part of that rapidly growing Midwest innovation hub, and we refer to it here as Silicon Prairie. I think that is so appropriate that a lot of people think, it's the middle of the country. Some think it's the middle of nowhere. I prefer to think that Nebraska is the center of the cosmos, and I am really, really happy that Google does as well. We have a great workforce. We have an excellent university system, and the system, it focuses on preparing our graduates to be a major part of the 21st century. It provides them with the skills that they need. We have the resources, the land and the water resources that are needed to support these data centers. And I think it's essential that we continue to use these resources in a responsible way, and that they are managed appropriately. And taking the tour, a short tour, we'll have to come back for more, but a short tour this morning, and to be able to learn how Google is using those resources, especially our water resources. I thank you for being good partners for the state of Nebraska in that. I think this center is really going to expand the availability that we see, the access to those great technology jobs. And it's also exciting to hear that the workforce here in Nebraska is going to be able to fill those jobs. So thank you for that. Obviously, we have to have a robust internet access across the state. That's a priority for me as a senior member on the Senate Commerce Committee. I constantly work on broadband issues. I supported the infrastructure bill that brought over $400 million here to the state of Nebraska, and I hope that money is used wisely here in the state of Nebraska so that we can have, again, appropriate, informed, mapped out deployment of that broadband resource that we now have. A focus on the infrastructure bill when we put it together was to be able to have deployment into unserved areas. I hope we continue to see that. The funding that this brings, it means more businesses across our state. They're going to be able to access the internet. They're going to be able to access the state-of-the-art cloud services that companies like Google provide. So I'm excited for the future. I appreciate Google's focus on the state of Nebraska. I hope that will continue well into the future, and I look forward to the partnerships that we have as a state, as a federal delegation, to be able to continue to strengthen needed growth across the state of Nebraska and across our country as well. I plan to continue to support policies that contribute to the innovation ecosystem that we enjoy here in the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Fisher, for that wonderful introduction. I didn't bring an encyclopedia-sized book to give you a speech from today.
He's in the House. What do you expect?
Oh. It's wonderful to be here today in the 1st Congressional District. When I started in the legislature back in 2005 with Senator Fisher, I was 16. She was, 50? And I started to see the magic that this county possesses. The mayors of Sarpy County, the county commissioners in Sarpy County, the chamber of Sarpy County, all working together in our state's fastest growing county to put together partnerships and business alliances that have really paved the way for investments like today. Over $2 billion has been invested in this county, this effort, and today, the announcement of another $1.2 billion between additions here and then the city of Lincoln, which is the largest city in the 1st Congressional District and also a very forward-thinking place home to the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Since you're handing out these data centers like candy, I would like one in Fremont, Columbus, and Norfolk. Once that happens, we have the trifecta. At the end of the day, I think what we have to really focus on with this investment is that these are going to create good jobs that connect Nebraskans to the rest of the world. There's a reason Stratcom is located in Sarpy County, Nebraska, because we have the hardest working, most loyal, honest, trustworthy people with integrity that are trusted with our nation's nuclear triad. Today, you demonstrate that trust by putting such critical infrastructure right here in the city of Papillion, and you are expanding into the city of Lincoln. I think this is exciting. As a member of the Financial Services Committee, I saw the best of Nebraska 3 weeks ago during my FinTech conference. I saw folks coming from all across the state talking about ways we can use artificial intelligence, ways we can use what Google does here to make FinTech happen in the Silicon Prairie. And I'm committed to seeing that through, and that is a priority for me as your congressman. With that, it is my great pleasure to introduce the mayor of Nebraska's capital city. She is in her 4th year and on her way to another 4, just reelected, and she brings with her the energy of a community that is ready and open for business, paired with a university that has some of the best talent in the nation, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. So I'd like to welcome Mayor Larian Gaylor Baird to the podium today.
Well, thank you for that warm introduction, Representative Flood. It is wonderful to be with all of you today. Thank you so much for joining us for this incredibly exciting announcement. It is wonderful to be with so many distinguished leaders in our state. Senator Fisher, thank you for coming here. To the other mayors who are with us today, thank you for hosting, to the mayor of Papillion, and to the folks from the state legislature and the state government. We're thrilled to be here working together to make life better for the people of Nebraska. I also want to thank Dan and all the team at Google for their investment, and we're so excited for the investment and expansion in Lincoln. Can I just confess one reason I'm really excited? For the past 4 years, since I walked into the doors of City Hall as mayor, we've been having to call this project agate, like a polished rock. It just seems somehow underwhelming compared to the amazing magnitude of this investment. And, you know, we can stop winking at the chamber and saying, we think it rhymes with schmoogle when we think about who this company is, okay? We now know it's behind the curtain no longer. Which is great, because in recent years, Lincoln has really become the cradle for a flourishing tech scene. And if you go to our historic Haymarket or to Nebraska's Innovation Campus, as Representative Flood mentioned, the university has played a big role in this. Large companies and small startups alike are recognizing what Lincoln has to offer in the heart of, as Senator Fisher called it, the Silicon Prairie. With today's announcement, we expand on the economic vitality, workforce, and stature of our city in a really big way. We know that Lincoln is already on Google's map, but I'm thrilled to say that Google is now officially on Lincoln's map. Yay, Lincoln! Their new data center, which will be located along Interstate 80 in Northeast Lincoln, will help create new jobs. It'll anchor industrial growth and provide a range of digital services that power businesses from Scottsbluff to Scottsdale and beyond. And so we are really appreciative of their investment in our community. We're so proud of our city team for the years of work that they have put in to try to get this done and be a successful project for Google and Lincoln. And we really also appreciate Google's commitment to protecting our environment along the way. Google was the first major company to set an ambitious 2030 goal to run its business on carbon-free energy every hour of every day. And that goal complements our city's climate action plan, the first of its kind in Nebraska, with our bold goal to reduce our community's net greenhouse gas emissions 80% by the year 2050. So today's announcement is just yet another milestone for our community. It builds on the success of this investment here in the wider state. And I want to say thank you again to our partners at Google, to everyone who's played a role as we show that Lincoln is a city whose growth is fueled by innovation, technology, and a commitment to sustainability. And we literally have the data to prove it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor Baird, Mayor Black, Senator Fisher, Congressman Flood, Alley, and thanks especially to all of you for joining us here this morning. It is so much dang fun to get together with a great group of folks on a Tuesday morning.